All right, good afternoon. Welcome to New York session. I hope you're doing well. So today is Tuesday, the 3rd of February 2026, and we are looking at the dollar index currently. Let's start with the dollar index. So yesterday, price managed to trade through the volume imbalance, which that is significant in terms of price action, and they have left a fair value gap over here, and we are rejecting from base low. So I think we are likely going to trade to this low over here. So let me go to the weekly. We are going to trade to this candle's low. $97.74, and then we'll see what will happen after that, but I think we might go beyond that. Probably either the inverted fair value gap next, so that would be 98.49 in terms of upside movement. So these two levels is what I'm gonna be aiming for the dollar index to reach for. Hence, on the lower time frame, I'm expecting dollar to basically not reverse but go up. For us to reverse, definitely we need to break that weekly up candle. So I'm considering this as a pullback, not a reversal. Okay, right. So with that said, means euro is also likely gonna continue going down. We do have some New York session fair value gap over here. If I go onto the weekly, we are coming inside the volume the inverted fair value gap 2 potentially. Okay, you're likely gonna trade there. And then on the daily, it looks like that. So let's see what's gonna happen this New York session. The fair value gap that was created in New York session yesterday is still there. So in case we pull back, that will be where I would expect price to pause and then continue going down. It doesn't need to get there because the London session gap can send price lower again. So the London session gap should send price lower to attack yesterday's low at 1.17762. So SL in here to attack this low. To attack this low, and then leaving some on for the New York session gap, which comes in at 17, that level. So that could be the trade idea for the day. Yeah, and then in case it goes higher than that, then you're gonna wait for a rejection. If in case they go above the landing session high, then you wait for a rejection before you sell. But I don't think you should do that. Okay, so I'm expecting this to reject and go lower. British pound, on the other hand, I don't like it. It didn't have any. It did have a gap, but they've closed that gap in. Now euro pound is dropping as we were expecting yesterday, and it did go for that 0.8. Let me put the level there again. 0.8644 level. Now since this is dropping, it will be strength for the British pound and weakness for euro. That's why I think you should focus more on the euro than the British pound. So we will still expect this to continue going down. So probably leave the pound alone, focus on the euro over here, and then at the same time you can look for a sell on the euro pound as well. I like the rejection. I actually closed my trade this morning, but I'm going to look to see if I can get another entry today. Let's go to the 15 minutes. Maybe a pullback into here, and then looking for continuation. There's this low, coming in at 0.86098. Okay, that could be the trade idea for the day. So between euro pound and euro, you can choose which one you want. Now personally I prefer euro pound. Why? Because NFP and rate announcement on euro, I don't want to be messing with the euro, so I'll rather go for the euro pound. But it's up to you which one you want. You can completely choose which one you prefer. Okay, all right, moving on. Gold, amazing. Yesterday I spoke about potentially price moving up from here, that 1 hour auto block, and then going up. It did go just a little bit below, and then we're moving towards that level. I still have my position for one or two reasons. My stop loss, I did place it down here because I realized that we had the breaker and then the inverted fair value gap over here. I didn't expect them to go, so when this candle did not reject, I basically moved my stop loss because it was likely they're gonna come for the breaker or the inverted fair value gap, so I moved my stop loss, and yeah, now we are here. We can't go higher than that, so I'm watching to see if price will pull back to this New York's landing session gap and then move higher. That is what I'll be watching for this New York session, and if we do, then I don't think there's any gap in here, The next gap is all the way up there, so price can move a little bit higher, which is Asian session gap. But yeah, so if we see price dropping into this gap, don't buy as it's dropping. I would prefer you wait for it to reject first, then you look for the buy. So as it's dropping, just keep an eye on the gap, let it reject. Once it rejects first, then you can start looking for the buy. Crude oil, nice one this morning. I've been watching it since the whole move here. You can see I've mapped everything. I've not slept yet. I need to sleep after this session. I've been up all night because I was watching the Australian dollar rate announcement. So I've been watching price since 3:30 a.m. GMT, and yeah, I watched all of this unfold on the 15 minutes. I saw the whole manipulation with the reversal. So when they dropped down, I highlighted the Asian session low. They're gonna take it with the pattern and then reject. So I saw this candle build, I saw that one build, and then I saw that one build, and then upon the closure of that, this one became a breaker right here. So I bought that, even though time of the day was not the best, but I bought that because that became a breaker. Maybe it can come back to it, or even possibly the fair value gap, but as I mentioned, this is where we need to form the low and then resume going up to 67.76. So yeah, I'm expecting a continuation to the upside on the crude oil, especially with today's candle. I want to see a large range candle trade up. If it doesn't go up big, at least to trade back into 63.21 would be good. Give me 1 second, guys, I'm coming. Okay, sorry for that. All right, let's continue. So yeah, during this New York session, maybe they might pull back to the breaker again and then expand up. So probably look for a 15 minutes fair value gap to form again, not the one that has formed in London, but one to form in New York, and then use that for an entry towards the 63.21 level, okay, for today. And then we'll see what will happen by the close of today. Now I'm really confident or positive that this should be the low of the month. Okay, the way they dropped aggressively to that level, because if they break this down candle, then I don't think it's relevant for price to go up anymore. So yeah, and then if you use the Fibonacci low to high, that's exactly the 62 or 0.618 retracement level. So at the same time is OTE, hence it's a very good price level for price to start going up from here. And then London has taken previous day's low, so Monday we drop, Tuesday check out Monday's low, reject during the London session. So that's a powerful reversal pattern. Low of the week Tuesday. So let's see. Okay. ES, so ES traded through the gap that I was expecting them to reject from during the New York session, and it's showing potentially them coming back above, but I'm still not convinced. But I'm gonna go with the flow, even though I'm not convinced. So yeah, it looks like they might come back above 7043 level again. How positive am I? Not really. So if you're gonna take this, you're gonna take it at your own risk. I'm not really confident with them going up, even though it shows signs of, because they've taken our previous week low, closed above the Monday Friday's candle. So we're supposed to go up, but anything is possible with price action. So yeah, I can't give you something on this for today, unfortunately. If you wanna go long, wait for New York session and then look for long. Now I was actually digging into ES today, early hours in the morning, and I did find something. So between 2:30 and probably that's what I might use, because what I'm seeing, I'm not confident, but if I do see what I'm about to share with you, then I'll probably take a risk on that and then see what will happen. Okay, so between 2:30 and 3, okay, between 2:30 and 3 p.m. GMT, in the next hour, watch how price will move. Watch how price will move. As I was looking into it, I was like, wow, this thing has been in there. So when it's 2:30, where does price move to? Does it move down or does it move up? Between 2:30 and 3, map out the high and the low of that range. So 2:30 to 3, the highest candle and the lowest candle, map that one. Okay, and then see, do we break up or do we break down? All right, it looks like it's similar to the Asian session range, but this is specific for the ES. So if we break up, usually that price range, they will come back to it and then continue going up in a trending market. Okay, not in a consolidation market, but when price is trending, when I was looking into it, that's what I realized, that anytime price is trending and we happen to have between 230 and 3, not a big move. Okay, when it moves aggressively, that is not what I'm talking about, but you see price in a very small range. Usually in an uptrend, it will drop and then reject, right, in between that time. So if you see the drop rejection, that range, if they break above, it will pull back and then continue going up. If the range, if they break down, it will pull back and then continue going down. So between 230 and 3, that specific time, watch what price is doing and then map out the high and the low of that range and then see what will happen. And let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so this is an example of it here. Let me go to the 5 minutes chart. So between 230, this candle, and then 3, that candle, okay, that one. So that is the range. So that's the highest high and then the lowest low. Now if I extend it up, right, they break to the downside here. Okay, they're closing, they break to the downside, and then price will pull back to it and then continue going down. Okay, but it's supposed to be in a trending market, not a consolidation market. So in the trending market, when you see something like this, so that will be manipulation, then they will break down, pull back to it, and then continue going down. In an uptrend, you want to see the opposite. They did something similar the day before that over here. If I map out between 230, actually that day it went straight down, it was here. So same thing here, between 230 and then 3, those candles, okay, and then they broke down, pulled back to it, and then went down, and then it came back to that same level. For some reason it came back to that same level and then dropped down again. All right, so I was digging into it to see, that is what I found. So there you go, I've shared it, you can use it. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna watch and see between that 230 and 230 and 3, what price will give me, because I'm not confident with looking for the continuation to the upside, but if it does print that pattern, I'll take the risk and then see what the outcome will be. Okay, so you're more than welcome to also use it for today. All right, okay, moving on, let's go to dollar yen. So dollar yen, it looks like we are going to be trading towards this breaker, and I want to see how price is gonna react there. I don't feel like this is like a reversal. It doesn't feel like it's gonna go all the way up. From the weekly perspective, I don't feel like it, because we've taken out a high, we've broken down this down candle. So we could be in a market maker sell model, where we're gonna come back to the first area of distribution, first area of accumulation, which will be somewhere here, because we started the move from this consolidation here, and then we consolidated there. We can also use this area as the consolidation, and then this as the first area of accumulation. So it doesn't matter. But yeah, that down candle is there. That fair value gap has been broken. This to me is a pullback. We will drop one more time. So I'm watching the breaker on the daily to see how price is gonna react. So let's see how price will react this afternoon. Again, it's a very good price action, because we started the week and price has started going up, and with price going up, usually that's a good sign of potential drop for the week. So it's just a matter of being patient for the high of the week to form. Once the high forms, then we can look for the sell. So patient. Now this is the one that I spent the early hours watching. So between 3:30, when the rate announcement came up, just before the rate announcement came out, they had just closed the 10 o'clock to 2 a.m. candle. Okay, so this candle closed at exactly 2, and then the 1:59, and then the 2 o'clock candle started here. So if I go onto the 1 hour, you see what I mean. So that is the 1:59 candle, and then this was the 2 o'clock candle. Or let me put it this way, this is the 2:59 candle, and then 3 o'clock started here. So by the time I realized, this candle has already closed above that, so I was convinced that it was gonna go up for some reason. Why? Because I spoke about this yesterday. They had retraced into the fair value gap, into this down candle, and the daily candle has already started showing a sign of rejection. So I was convinced it was going to go up, so I actually took a long on that one here before the news came out. This one traded back into the gap, so I bought that in anticipation that the news will come and then they will send it up. I was aiming for here, the 0.7056 level. Got very close to it, and then we opened London, and then we got the rejection. So I'm still bullish, even if we are going to go down. Like I said, this is not how they go down, so maybe this will close a little bit higher, and then tomorrow go up. Then we have the down candle, then the up, and then the up. Then if they're gonna go down, that one I don't care. So that is what I'm anticipating. Okay, so let's see if they will do that. Can you go long? If you want to. We're currently inside this gap. This down candle is there, so that can be used as a protection, and then aim back above this candle's high. So that level comes in at 0.7056. Let's see what that level comes in at. Comes in at 0.7942. 0.7942. That would be the upside objective if you're gonna go long. Okay, now let's go to the cryptos. So Bitcoin, I'm still expecting the 74,420 level. I still think they're gonna come back for it. So, and it looks like they are in a phase of distribution again. Same distribution that happened here. They're gonna do something here, and we happen to have, let me take this thing out. We happen to have a fair value gap over here. So that would be our resistance. If they dip into it, expect a rejection to drop. So that is that level. It starts at 79,337 to 81,000. Inside that range, we want to see them reject and continue going down. Ethereum, same thing, expecting 2,119.18 as they draw on liquidity. So let's see, because we are still bearish. Now, is this candle's low, right? Now, what can happen here is something similar to what Hype did. Okay, that same area where Hype screamed up. Ethereum is playing around same sort of area, but I'm looking for it below this low. So once we get there, don't be surprised to see the same sort of movement that Hype has done, because this is a bullish range. If I go to Hype, it's the same thing. Bullish range, pull back, and then we went up. So Ethereum can do something like that here. Even if it does it where we are now, I'll not be surprised, but I would like to see them come for that low before anything like that happens. Solana, I'll be expecting them to take that 95.16 level, and that will complete the whole move, right? This is perfect. This is the whole market in a nutshell. Run above the high, break down, pull back, drop. Okay, this is basically everything. If you understand this, that's it. Once we get down here, wait for price to give you another one, which is maybe this one, then we go up. So yeah, we're expecting that 95.16 level, and then we'll be done. We'll see what will happen after that. So similar to Bitcoin, watch this gap starting from 106.57 to 111.91. Inside that range, price is gonna give us a continuation to the downside. XRP, Not a fan of it until this candle's low this week is dealt with, then we can look at it. So yeah, that is that. Hype. So we did have the market move up into the gap that I talked about. We had the market move into the gap that I talked about, which is this one here, right? And then we've started seeing that rejection. What I think might happen is a drop from here, but I don't want you to trade it, okay? Because it's kind of bullish, so leave that alone. Focus on the others, because it's rejecting that OTE area, so we can pull back relative to this high and this low, that range. So leave that alone for now. If anything, focus on the other ones. Chart key, that is also rejecting, but like I said, I would have wanted to see them take out the previous month low first before doing that rejection, but who knows, we'll see. Looking at the daily, we've had an up candle already yesterday, so price could go up from here, but we will see. I don't know. We have these up candles there, we have a fair value gap with this up candle here. Bitcoin is meant to drop one more time, so I want to see if when Bitcoin drops, if this one will drop. If it doesn't drop, then I think they will move up from here. Okay, so let's wait and see if Bitcoin drops, if that one too will drop. If it doesn't drop, then definitely it's not going to. If it doesn't drop, then definitely it's not going to drop, so you can leave that, and then obviously yeah, if you want to buy it. But if Bitcoin drops and it drops, then leave it alone and then wait, let them touch that same level one more time, then you can look for the buy. And then finally, the AI16Z, nothing is really happening on that. We had an up candle yesterday, but it didn't do much, so I'm not going to report it because nothing really is happening. So let's leave that alone and then focus on what we have here. So back to these ones. I think Euro Pound almost got to the entry, so focus on Euro Pound. Euro has also tapped into the entry, so you can also look at Euro. Crude oil didn't come back, and then gold is basically moving up from this fair value gap. So watch gold, maybe this 1 hour candle in 30 minutes will close similar to yesterday, that 1 hour candle here, and it pulled back before going up. So still keep an eye on that fair value gap, because who knows, they might trade to that one before going up. Okay. All right, so that is all I have for you for today. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you same time tomorrow for another session. Until then, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.